let's dive into the first topic of Agentic AI. So I would like to very briefly take one step back first. Where does actually Agentic AI add value in IoT solutions? And here we do see two main value drivers. The first is Agentic AI makes building stuff much faster and cheaper, whether it be a dashboard, a real-time rule, automation workflows, or whatever you can think of. With Agentic AI, this time to build something greatly compresses. And second, and that's also what a lot of people are talking in IoT at the moment, is Agentic AI can assist you when operating assets or processes. So AI agents can significantly speed up the process of collecting relevant context from different systems in order to, for example, faster identify a root cause or an issue and basically help an operator, an expert to derive the best action to take. And at Cumulocity, as you can imagine, we are looking into both areas, and a lot of my colleagues are working on innovation in both of these areas. First, a few words on how or what we are doing and how you can leverage Cumulocity to build end-to-end IoT solutions faster. First of all, I hope you have already tried the new AI-assisted widget and dashboard building. If not, you should definitely. You just have to activate the Agent Manager public preview in your tenant, and then can use the AI-enabled HTML widget to very briefly build much more rich dashboards and visualizations for your operators. I'm going to show in the demo in a second how the preview can be activated in case you haven't done so yet. Next, the streaming analytics teams are doing some very interesting innovation and have recently added a smart function block using the fact that AI is really, really good at writing code. And with this fast smart function block, you can easily prompt very complex streaming analytics rules very quickly. If that sounds interesting, Nick has written a nice blog article explaining how it works. And also tell later with the data prep work, we also explain how we take this smart function idea further to help you integrate device data within Cumulocity. And then if you are building web applications onto Cumulocity or web plugins, there's a lot of work that has happened, a lot of improvements to the developer codex containing all the knowledge that you as a developer or an AI agent needs to make Cumulocity when conform applications leveraging all the Cumulocity components out of the box. And if you know Bootstrap a new Cumulocity plugin using our web SDK, you directly get all the agents instruction with it, so that agents know much better how to write Cumulocity extensions. Also, Jakob Hock from our team has developed a nice MCP server that allows AI agents to interact with the codex and search the codex for specific information. If you do build microservices, or if you do want to extend the backend logic of Cumulocity, we have this managed microservice hosting where you can host your containers and expose additional APIs. Alexander Pester from the Cumulocity team has written a very nice article on how to best do so in the age of Agentic AI, basically specifying your service first and the set of APIs you want to expose, and then leveraging AI to build this service in a very fast way. All right, so now what I would like to do is show some new features directly within our products, namely two. We have a new AI chat widget that you can use in any Cumulocity dashboards, which is in public preview. And then I would like to also show the AI assistant that the team is working on, which is currently in a private preview state. And here what you can actually see, we are the administration application of Cumulocity and in the Agent Manager section. If you have not installed the Agent Manager, and if you are in a Cumulocity instance like any public cloud instance on CD, you can go to your user menu and then activate the preview of the Agent Manager in the administration application. You need to be an administrator to do that. So that's very easy to enable the AI Agent Manager. It should be available on any instance which is not on a yearly release. And then once you have it installed, you will see all the tools that are pre-shipped with Cumulocity, but you can also add your own MCP servers. You can host an MCP server with your own tools for your own use cases. And then you can start building your agents. That is very easy. Raul showed that in great detail last time, so I'm doing a very quick round of that. I'm creating a text agent. So a text agent is an agent that basically chats with you in natural language and not creating JSON objects or things like that. And then really anything I have to do is create a system prompt. So in this case, my system prompt is you're a helpful AI assistant, just to illustrate how this could look like. So here you can provide all the context and the role that you want your agent to take. And then you can give it a set of allowed tools that this agent is allowed to invoke. And in my example, I just have a tool which allows you to search a knowledge base. That's a kind of custom microservice that has been done for this demo, which allows you to basically index using retrieval augmented generation, additional documents from outside, in this case, a maintenance database. And there's also a new approach that we are currently working on, which is called code mode. So also here, Jakob Hock has created a very nice open source repository that I will show in a second. But basically, the idea is very simple. Instead of having a lot of tools that you give your agent access to, you only give it access to, in this case, 2 tools. And in the future, we are actually also having only one code mode tool, which allows the agent to discover, in this case, the available APIs, and then to execute code that extracts the information that the agent is interested in. And given that LLMs these days are very good at creating code, this helps an LLM because if you give it a lot of tools, the LLM often does not know which tool to cause, and then with the increasing number of tools you give to an LLM, actually the agent performs worse. And with this code mode, actually it's easier for the agent to just kind of describe what he wants to do, not in English, but in code, and then basically use code to extract, to do the right sequence of API calls and extract the right information. Another thing that I would like to show, or I would like to briefly mention, is how do you actually activate this new chat widget in your cockpit application. For this, you need to have your own cockpit that you can extend with your own plugins. If you only have a subscribed cockpit in your tenant, assuming that you're a tenant administrator, it's very easy to just clone it. That will freeze the version of this cockpit and create you a custom cockpit. And with this custom cockpit, you can then add any plugin. So in this, the freezing is important so that as updates could break compatibility with plugins, you have to do that then manually. But no, just install a new plugin. In this case, the agent chat plugin, which is available again on all public cloud instances. You can install it, and if you have this AI agent chat installed and go to your cockpit application, you can also do that with your own application. In case you have developed your own, you can also add the same plugin as long as the application supports dashboarding. We are now going to the homepage, and what we are doing is we are removing the welcome widget, and instead of that, we add this AI agent chat. So this is this new widget that allows you to interact with any of the agents in your tenant. So we call it AI Assistant, and we link it to this My Agents that we just created. You see in my tenant, there's a lot of agents that we are playing around with. And that's basically all you need to do. So we select an agent. We now have this agent chat. We can resize it as any other widget. And now we can start talking to it. So let's just try a very simple prompt. Is there anything that I should pay attention to? And what this agent then does, it automatically knows, hey, I'm a useful assistant in Cumulocity and have access to this query tool. So I'll help you figuring out if there are any active alarms, because attention to, he mapped to, hey, is there any alarm that I should pay attention to? So he queries all the alarms. You see, oh yeah, there are quite a few of them. Then he queries some details to those alarms and gives you some recommendations. And I think that's pretty impressive, given that we don't have given any context. We just gave it access to the code mode tool, and it comes up with a pretty good response, of course, also because we do have a lot of documentation for the agent in our OpenAPI specification and explain the agent very well. how he can actually interact with our platform. And this is now the second thing I want to show, which is our new AI assistant, which is in private preview. And if you're interested in that, please reach out to me, Rahul or Jan. And we are happy to also activate this feature on your tenant. So this is a bit of an evolution of this AI chat. That is an assistant which accompanies you across all Cumulocity instances. At least this is the vision for the future. And it understands the context of where you are. So now in this case, we are going to one specific wind turbine in my demo tenant. And as you can see, this context is automatically ingested to the agent. So when I ask the agent a question, it knows exactly what I'm looking at, what screen I'm looking at. And now I just tried out to see what is the weighted power of this turbine. That is a property that was modeled with the Digital Twin Manager, and we can see it here. So let's see if the agent can actually retrieve that. It again executes the tool and then hopefully comes back with it. And yes, so that's a very easy task for the agent. It comes back with the weighted power. And now one other question, which is actually not part of the agent, the wind turbine properties: when was the turbine last serviced? And here it actually recognizes I use this knowledge base tool. And in this knowledge base tool, I have the whole service history as a kind of PDF document uploaded. And then it successfully extracts the last service date and puts it back to the user. So this is just an inspiration of what this agent can help you with. And last but not least, I explained already that this is based on this code mode approach, so not having a lot of MCP tools that the agent has to choose for every API, but basically a secure sandbox in which an agent can execute code against our REST APIs. This is available as a microservice that you can just upload to your tenant and try it out for yourself in case you also want to play around with code mode. We especially saw that when you have small models, that this works very well with code mode, because even small models know how to create code, but they often get confused with MCP tools and invoke them in the wrong way. So it's really worth having a try replacing your codes with this code mode approach and seeing if your agents then do perform better. And that was the demo I wanted to share. And now back to the slides. As already mentioned, we are really, really interested in your feedback. So you have a QR code of my LinkedIn profile. Just take a screenshot if you're interested. Of course, we also have our feedback portal, and we always appreciate you providing product feedback. We do promise that we react to that product feedback. We might reach out to you and ask for calls. So if you are willing to engage with us, then this is a great starting point also to kind of initiate a feedback discussion and get routed to the right product manager. But otherwise, you can also always free to reach out to me on LinkedIn.